Hello, friends, dear companions, noble patriots. It's me, Vinicius, from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. And today I would like to talk about the Islamic Republic of Iran. And first of all, I need to reveal my bias. I'm I'm the biggest Islamophobe ever born. Although I love Muslim women, I find them very cute. But I, I really despise this religion more than everything. Okay, not that I like the other ones. Okay, but this one this is the special one. And the Islamic Republic of Iran is the example of why I hate this religion so much, because I really hate mixing religion with politics, and the Islamic Republic of Islam of Iran is that case. They are using mandatory hijab laws to kill women, arrest women, put fines, impose fines on women. They are killing homosexuals. They are persecuting Christians. Bro, it's a hell. Okay, and I'm not. I have to add that a lot they have sanctions, so there is no McDonald's. There is a lot of corruption, uh, inflation, crisis. Uh, all the situation that happens there is, for some reason, I think that there is an ecological crisis there because of the lack of rain. So there is drought. Okay, so, and bro, but Islam Iran is amazing country with amazing people, very beautiful women, I must, and amazing movies. Yes, so it's a millionaire culture, and they since 1979 chose this path of becoming an Islamic Republic, and they are using billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars from the oil to support terrorist groups like Houthis, Hamas, Hezbollah. So they are the biggest sponsor of terrorism in the world and the biggest sponsor of Islamism. Okay, political Islam. And bro, what can I say? For decades, Iranian people, they are rebelling against this regime. They are protesting, but there is nothing they can do for two reasons. First of all, you have the IRGC, okay? You have the militaries of Iran, okay, of the country, and you have the the Islamic Guard, that's the army of the regime. So when you have a country in which you have a regime that has its own army, its own, this is so undemocratic. So if the people go to the streets to protest, the Islamic Guard, okay, will kill the protesters. That's what happened before. And while we are talking, there is a big wave of protests taking place in Iran, and this time is different. The other times, it was protests of girls protesting against mandatory hijab, but it doesn't represent everybody. The girls, complaining. This time, what we can watch in the videos is that the people that are attending these protests, they are the people who work, the bazaar, the people who shop owners, they decided to do a protest, and it seems that the level of disappointment of the average Iranian reached its peak. Uh, One of the things that make the Iranian Islamic regime have support is that you have a lot of public employees. So people who receive money from the government, they will not protest against the government. But the rest of the population really despise the country because despise the regime, and it seems they are rebelling. So it's very clear that Iran is going the same path of the Arab Spring that happened 15 years ago. Okay, and I'm very pessimistic about Iran. First of all, let's see the implications of the fall of the Iranian regime. For those who doesn't remember, who don't remember, last year Israel attacked Iran in a 12 days war. And a lot of the anti-Zionist media say, "Oh, Iran defeated Israel," oh. But everybody in the region knows that Israel humiliated Iran, and Iran lost its influence in Syria. It's losing its influence in Lebanon too. So what's happening is that Iran, as a regional superpower, is disappearing. So first, Israel destroyed the influence of Iran, and what Israel is doing right now is destroying the regime. Yes. So Israel made a big coalition of Sunni countries to defeat Iran. And one of the problems of the attack of the 12 Days War is that the attack was so successful that a lot of countries who are Sunni countries that were supporting Israel against Iran, they thought, oh, we don't need to make alliance with Israel against Iran because Iran is already defeated, you know? It's so, and other thing, a lot of countries like Qatar and other countries, they said, bro, Israel is too powerful. We need to make a coalition against Israel, not against Iran. Iran is not a threat, but Israel, they can destroy any country. So, in the sense, the attacks that were conducted against Iran, they showed a lot of weakness. And the main country that's occupying the vacuum of Iranian collapse is Turkey. So, Turkey has a lot of bases in Somalia, and now Israel is making a base in Somaliland. You also have some countries in the Arab world who are divided right now. For example, you have Libya. In Libya, you have two governments. At one government is supported by the West. The other government is supported by Turkey. The same thing happens in Somalia. Now you have one government, Somaliland, supported by Israel. The other government supported by Turkey. You have another situation taking place in Ethiopia. Ethiopia is a country who is landlocked. They don't have access to the sea. They need this access. And they made a lot of threats, especially against Eritrea. And they need to expand their exports. They need access to the sea. And they can make a deal with Israel. So if Somaliland is created, so Somaliland can give access to Ethiopia. Ethiopia has a conflict with Egypt, okay, because of a dam and controlling that can block the water from the Nile, okay. So there is this rivalry between Ethiopia and Egypt. So Israel is giving support to Ethiopia, while Turkey is giving support to Egypt, okay. So you can see that very slowly, Iran is becoming irrelevant. Most of the countries are taking one side against Israel, and the alternative is not Iran, it's Turkey. So we can predict that the fall of the Iranian Islamic regime can be, oh my god, the biggest historical fact in the history of Israel. If Israel is able to defeat without American intervention Iran, it means that they can do it with any other country. So, for existential threat, they will try to make a coalition against Israel. So the fact that Israel defeats Iran in the future can be a problem to Israel because other countries can create a coalition. So I watched the interview of Bibi Netanyahu, and for the first time he didn't, because he always said in the past, oh, we need to make the alliance uniting moderate Sunni countries against Iran, you know. And for the first time he was very open that there are two threats to Israel. One is Sunni, the other is Shia. That's it. There is no moderate Islam, you know. So all these countries, they are dictatorships, okay. They are very authoritarian, and they have no freedom, no democracy. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see some events taking place in this year. First of all, Venezuela will be invaded by America. Okay, otherwise Trump would show weakness to China and Russia, and he will not do it. And in other places, I wouldn't be surprised if we see intervention of Israel in Lebanon to disarm Hezbollah. I wouldn't, because without the funding of Iran, Hezbollah has no funding. So it's just a matter of time to Hezbollah be defeated. So I really think that the Israeli mindset is we need to cut the head of the snake, that is Iran, who is sponsoring terrorist groups, and later we attack the terrorist groups. This explains why they didn't finish the Hamas, because without the Iranian regime to give support to Hamas, Hamas would be a lot weaker, and they would even accept diplomatically a resolution that would be more better to Israel. So I really think that Israel will pursue it right now with a lot of spies, with a lot of espionage, the fall of the Islamic regime. But now and then they will disarm Hezbollah, use Somaliland to attack the Houthis, and also destroy Hamas. And also, I wouldn't be surprised if we also see an expansion of the Syrian civil war in Israel, carving a country in Syria, two countries, a Kurdistan and a Druze state. So this is the scenario that we are watching in the Middle East. There is also one other country that I would have to talk. That is Sudan. Sudan is divided in two parts: West Sudan and East Sudan. And the West Sudan has a rebellion that's supported by UAE. Okay, that's allied with Israel. Okay, so you can see that there is a very, it's not a cold war, it's a very hot war in the Middle East, and everything gives the impression that it will only increase. So let's talk a little bit about the consequences of the fall of the Iranian regime. So let's talk a little bit about the main risks. Iran is a multi-ethnic country, and only 50% of the country is Persian. You have Azeris, you have Kurdish people, you have Balochi people, you have Turkmenistan people, you have Arab people. So, and different from other countries, they are the majority. They are 50% combined. Okay, the Persians, they are the plurality, but not the majority. So there is a big risk that the country will fall in civil war, and we will see ethnic battle and civil and the country fragmentation in a lot of republics. This would be a disaster, okay? Because in this eventuality, we would see millions and millions and millions of deaths, okay? And there is another eventuality that there will be a revolution in Iran, and the own people will elect another regime that's not in favor of Israel. This would be very curious, because Iran is very close to the nuclear bomb. So if there is a revolution that will be still against Israel, okay, Israel will have no other option but to do a military intervention. And in this case, they use these ethnic rivalries as the only resource to go to war. The better scenario is the scenario in which the people make the revolution, and the Shah has a Pahlavi who lives in California, assumes power, and to all matters and effects, he becomes a puppet of Israel, and Israel creates military bases in Iran, and that's it. So I really think that the main outcome of this war is that today the Iranians, they have a very authoritarian regime, is a evil theocracy, evil dictatorship. But Iran is sovereign country, okay? They don't have to respond to any other country. Okay. In fact, they have some alliances with China and Russia, but if you look very closely, nobody likes them. Okay, China is a materialistic atheist country. They don't like they do like a Islamic theocracy. It's like Iran is only used by the other powers by the fact that they are against America and Israel. And that's it. They have no more. They have nothing in common. So I have to add something. If I were Iranian, I don't know if I would support this protest, even though I hate this regime, because I know that what can follow is something even worse. It can be a civil war, it can be the fragmentation of the country, and the best case scenario is the loss of sovereignty. Okay, is a scenario in which Israel will put the Shah in power, and Iran will become a zone of influence of Israel. The good thing is that this will be good to the business because the sanctions against Iran would fall. And I hope this is the best scenario because I hope the best scenario happens because I love the Iranian people. They are amazing. But I don't know, bro. I don't know. And I don't know to which extent the opposition that is around 80% of the population. The situation of Iran is very close to the situation in Venezuela. The regime is very, very weak. And what we are watching in the last days is a deep, deep, deep infiltration of the Mossad inside Iran. Some sources reveal that there are more Mossad agents in Iran than in all the other parts of the world combined. And there is other interesting curiosity. Two Mossad agents were arrested in Turkey. So this is also a sign that Israel knows that Iran is gone, and they are already trying to create connections in Turkey, and probably they will do the same strategy. They will try to build connections with the opposition against the country that's very authoritarian, and try to use the religion against their own regime. The problem of Turkey is that Turkey is not so. Turkey is 80% Turkish. Turkey has only 20% of Kurdish people. So demographically, Turkey is not fragile as Iran, who is only 50% Persian. Other point is that the regime in Turkey is a autocracy, is a failed autocracy, but it's not a theocracy or a dictatorship yet. So of course they arrested a lot of people, but not so much. So there is no sentiment in the streets of Turkey to create a revolt like they did in Iran. So I really think that trying to create a revolution in Turkey would take decades. Okay, and Turkey is doing a lot of very good things in the political standpoint. So we have to admit that. So that's what we can say about the situation in Iran. I hope that the regime fall, and the infiltration is so big that even the people in the own secret system of Iran are providing the names of the people of the repression. Okay, you have people in the Iranian army, okay, who are already siding with the protesters. Okay, so there is a division inside the regime to see how when the regime is so unpopular. I don't know if Israel will attack now. I think that's better. Don't attack now, because if Israel attacks Iran now, the regime nationalism will make the regime stronger. I really think that it's better to wait the own regime killing their own population, and the scenes can make the president of Iran. I'm not talking about the Khamenei, who is the supreme leader. The president is a very moderate guy. He's telling, no, don't kill the protesters. Let's negotiate with them. Let's try to find a middle ground. So this this is too late, bro. Okay. So if this president had done it 10 years ago, but now everybody is hating this country. So I really think that the time has come. There will be something going on in Iran, some kind of rebellion, I don't know, and things are looking very good to Israel. I will not deny, but I don't know if the things will be good to the Iranian people, because civil war like it's happening in Syria, it wouldn't be good. It could spread to Iraq, where you also have Kurdish people. Okay, so imagine that if Israel tries to do the same thing that they did with Somaliland, unilaterally recognizing Somaliland country, if Israel unilaterally recognize a Kurdish state. So it would create a regional war involving Syria, involving Iran, involving Iraq and Turkey against the, because of course, if there is a Kurdish state, it will be with the Israeli bases around the Kurdish territory fighting against all these countries at the same time. And so far, I don't know if Israel would lose. Israel is very powerful. And these are the lessons that we learned in this last conflict. Israel can realistically defeat a lot of countries at the same time. And so let's see. I wish that Iran can be a democracy, liberal country, and with freedom for homosexuals and LGBTs and women can be free. I just know that there is a price they will have to pay in blood to be free, and I hope there is no civil war. I hope there is no fragmentation. But if there is civil war, if there is fragmentation, bro, we are talking about disaster with big implications, spreading this war to other places, and creating a fratricide. So I have to say, the fall of the Islamic regime of Iran will make the lives of the Shia people in other countries very fragile. And we have 90% of Shias living in Egypt. We have 20% of Shias living in Lebanon, the Alawite Shias in Syria, and we have also 60% of the Iraqi Arabs are Shia. And I really think that if Iran disappears, we will see more Sunnis attacking this vulnerable population, because you know that Shias and Sunnis are not big friends. So I don't know what will be the future. I imagine that if Iran falls, the next regime will have the Shah as leader, and this leader will be a ally of the West and Israel. So this definitely will be the biggest victory for the Jewish state ever. And one cruel thing, historically, the Jewish people were saved by the Persian king Cyrus. Okay, he was the one who built the Temple of Jerusalem. So there is a debt of gratitude of the Jewish people towards the Persian people. So there is now the Jews have to pay back, and this time the Jews who will be the ones who will set free the Persians. One conspiracy theory is that what we can call Judaism today is not the original Judaism. That the original Judaism would be very closer to the religion of Egypt, and the religion of the pharaohs. Okay, and what we can call Rabbinic Judaism today would be after the connection, the involvement of Judaism with the Babylonian exile. And the reason why the king Persian set free the Jews was because he wanted to influence the Jewish religion and use the Jewish religion to establish his power in that region. Okay, so the theory that Judaism is a Persian religion makes a lot of sense if you analyze the geopolitics of Israel and Persia. They were together for centuries after the death of King Cyrus. Even after the Roman revolts, a lot of people in the land of Israel, they were siding with the Persians. So, and even the Jews who were living in the time of Jesus, the Pharisees, they were a Persian faction, political faction, while the Sadducees they were the Greek faction in Israel. The Pharisees were the Persian faction. So the influence of Persia in that region is very old. So let's see what will happen. Till next time, God bless you all.